Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is 5 o'clock right now. As a commitment, as I assured you all, we're going to meet every week and we're going to keep learning something new about your handwriting and your signatures. But in the first few segments of this conversation with you all, my focus is more on the signatures. If you're attending this program for the first time, you're not part of my community, don't worry, you can still follow and understand. You don't necessarily have to be a handwriting analyst to comprehend the information I'm going to be sharing with you. But if you're a handwriting analyst, if you're part of my community, this is a big bonus for all of us because we all are committed as a community to add value to people's life. So today, continuing our segment of discussing more about the signatures, we had the last Wednesday session. So we're going to be having this Wednesday session right now, and let's continue conversations on signatures. In the last session, what we talked about was three things. The first thing, whenever you look at a signature, look at the overall size of the signature. And under the size of the signature, we said the first letter of your signature should at least be bigger, if not your entire signature. I love to have a big signature. When I say a big signature, not necessarily in the terms of the length also, but also in the overall size of the signature. Second thing is, if it is not the overall signature, at least make sure you have the first letter of your signature 4 times bigger than the rest of the signature. Continuing again about the size, at least middle zone letters, make sure it is consistently the same size, because any change in the variations of the size of the middle zone, it will impact the consistency in your energy, consistency in your behavior also. Today, I want to focus on the dots in the signature. For a handwriting analyst, dot is basically period, P-E-R-I-O-D. For us, period is time gap. Period is time gap. So I want to bring to your attention that whenever somebody is writing their signatures, make sure they have the dots identified and worked on it, because I don't normally suggest dots. For example, let's assume your name might be M.N. Okay, Prasad. So most of us have, most of us have a habit of writing initials, and after every initials, we actually also write dots. Okay, so I'm talking about this dot right now. For us, a dot is a period, it's a time gap. So my suggestion is remove this dot, because people who use dots in between the signature are basically the people who love to operate their life in compartments. They don't like to mix their professional into personal, personal life into professional. And in fact, the way they operate is when they go to the office, they're 100% there, they do what has to be done, but not everybody knows much about you other than the responsibility you manage, other than the designation which you hold, which is really amazing, nothing wrong about it. But the background I am coming from is anything which requires management, because for me, managing an image, every domain of your life is an effort. It's a management which you're going to put in, and anything requires management will bring in stress. Anything which requires management will bring in stress. So my suggestion is, please work on eliminating these dots between your signature. The first thing. Second thing, so because the dot is the time gap between the name and the initial, so this also talks about the way you relate to the person whose name is attached. So the initial could be your city name, the region name, it could be your father's name, it could be, it could be a family name. So what happens is there's a time gap. So what you think, what you understand life, the way you want to operate your ideology and principle, and the way you have understood from your family, the spouse, or anybody's initial. So you're basically talking about that time gap. So that's where the conflict happens, that sometimes they do what they're doing and you're doing what you're doing, right? So this is again requires a lot of management, because you have to listen to it. But again, you are doing what you want to do it. So that will again bring stress in the writing. So since the suggestion is, I'm not talking about the initials today, I'm talking about the dots in your signature. So please make sure you work on it. And these are the people who like to have their life compartmentalized. So there's one compartment everywhere, every dimension of their life. And because they have so many things to manage, it might add up to their stress. Dot in the end of a signature, not suggested, because we consider these people as the wall. So they are very hard nut to crack. So if you have somebody in your life, in your work life, and if you are married to somebody who has a dot in the end of it, these people are very hard to convince. No matter whatever you offer them, even the best of a deal, eventually they will like to have the last say in the matter. उनके लिए उनका word important रहता है. So even if I give them, okay, you take 70% of this, I want 75% out of it. So they like to have the final say in the matter. Very difficult to convince, very difficult to sell anything to them, because they will always come back and they'll always like to have they say in the matter. So the dot in between the signature, dot in the end of the signature. Now, most of us have a habit that we underline it and we have a dot here. So no matter whether it is a 2 dots, whether it is 3 dots, these dots are called self-assurance dot. What is self-assurance? So these are the people who like to double check. These are the people who need to have constant, assurance given that hum hai aapke liye, we will do it for you. So these people are always looking for it. So if I'm sitting there and I'm learning something from you, I need an assurance from you that मैं सीख लूंगा ना, मैं ये मेरे से हो पाएगा ना. So if I say, no, I'm there for you, you will be able to learn this and you can do this, then you will have more confidence into doing this program than anybody else. And these are the people who they will lock their home. They'll again go back and check whether it's been locked or not locked. And even if they are, operating with the car with the remote control, they will again go back and check whether it is, locked or not. So that's what is happening there. So these people need a lot of self-assurances. Are you with me? So dot between the initials or dot between your names and dot in the end of it and dot below this. So these are the 3 things which you need to really work on when it comes to your signatures. Give me a big yes if you found this information valuable. Come on, everybody, give me a big yes if you found this information valuable. And I know some of us are attending this session live, and some of you are watching this on the YouTube stream. And the idea here is that look into the dot. So how many of you have a dot in your signature? Let me check how many of you have a dot in your signature. So you need to check, no dots in between. Definitely, it's a big no. And if you have a dot in the end of the signature, it's a big no. But I'm okay with you having the dots in the end of it. I'm okay you having the dots in the end of it. Having a little bit of self-assurance and reassurance, it could be a good idea. But again, don't rely too much on getting self-assurance, because not everywhere you're going to get that. Okay. Now, if you are into the sales, how do you deal with people like this? So if you're in sales and if you see somebody has a dot in the end of it, give them assurances. Say that, this vehicle you're buying, it does not require services all the time. You just need 1 year service, and we are going to come and pick up from your home. We are going to be delivering. So if you're going to give them the assurance, they'll buy it from you. Okay. If you have a dot in the end of it, you need to hand over the control to them. Say, "Aap bataiye, aapko kya lagta hai? What do you think is your idea? What do you think, you want to consider as an offer?" Allow them, give them the control. They will be in alignment with you. Okay. And if you are having a dots in between, you need to really understand this person likes to draw lines. So they might come across as a very arrogant. They may come across as, very, very silent, but nothing wrong about it. They just like to manage their life in terms of compartmentalize. Are you all with me? So dealing with people also is very important. How you connect with them, how you relate with them. So now let's go to the second segment of it. The second segment of the signature is that whenever you write your signature, so let me decode some of the signatures I have got from my students here, and we are going to be working on it. So now let's decode some of these signatures. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a very interesting conversation on signatures. So let's go for it. I have a student here, and Shayantani is what I am able to see as a name. So when I see this signature, so this is what I see. When you see multiple strokes as a handwriting analyst, for us, every line is a stroke. So whenever we see multiple strokes, the reason I am using the word multiple is जिस lines की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं रहती, लेकिन ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा lines कोई भी signature में, कोई भी shape में नजर आती हैं, तो हम लोग इसको बोलते हैं extravagance. So extravagance का माना ये होता है कि these people have difficulty in managing their time and money. The reason I'm using the word, difficulty in managing time and money is because जितना जरूरी है उससे ज्यादा खर्च कर देते हैं, और जितना चाहिए उससे ज्यादा एफर्ट्स डालने के लिए डाल देते हैं, so they may end up putting more efforts than required or end up spending more money than what is required. So जो चीज 10 रुपए में खत्म हो सकती थी, आपको हमेशा आपके हाथ से 20 या 40 रुपए में ही खत्म होती है. So that's how it is. So let me check if Shantani is with us. So let's see if she can able to validate. So everybody say hello to Shantani. She's with us here. Shantani, I said about extravagance, management of time and money is a huge challenge. What is your reaction on that?
Yes, sir, it's very true. When I used to do this signature before, the first one was
Yes.
my previous signature, which is still with my other banking and all. So yes, sir, I agree with you. It was there. I
Right.
used to extravagant and the money. Always, I used to spend more money. But now, after I learning from you and doing the sessions, I want to change in this signature, the second one.
Sure.
So
I'll also decode the first one, and then I'll definitely, this is better than the first one. The second signature is definitely the better one. But I like to tell you all the other things which we are able to see this in the signature, and then we're going to do it. And the idea here is that, Shantani, that look at the signature, and anybody who circles their letters or circles their entire signature, the way we interpret is, this is for everybody. Anybody who circles the letter or the entire signature. Now, in case of Shantani, what we're able to see is she is circling her S. Okay. So circling letters or circling the entire signature, whenever we see this, these are the people who always have challenge in connecting with people. Okay. It's not like they're consciously pushing people away, but subconsciously they draw so much of a line, itna bada daira wo bana lete hain, that people are not able to connect with them. It's like this. Shantani is sitting in the home and she has constructed a beautiful compound or the fencing around her, and she has locked it, and she's sitting in the home and wondering why people don't talk to me, why people always misunderstand me, why don't people approach me. So can you see that that's what happens? And it's not like you're pushing people away. Shantani is not consciously saying, no, go, I don't need. No, we are all looking at, meeting and connecting, but you create that space around you. So this is for everybody. Don't limit yourself, because your projected personality becomes so strong that people will never come and initiate a conversation. See, one of the things I like about handwriting analysis is that, it will empower you. If you practice graphotherapy, work on your personality, you need to be approachable. People should come and initiate conversations. You need to be showing that aura. You need to vibrate in that frequency that people can come and connect with you and share with you. But if you create circles, bad idea. Number 3, Shantani, what we also see in your signature is that you have an amazing ability of connecting everything towards your past. So we call you as a very strong reference to the past is your approach towards life. And why do we say this is because look at her stroke. It goes to the left and it comes back to the right. So the good news is it's coming back to the right. Okay, but it is going to the left. So if I tell Shantani, you should invest money यहाँ पे और यहाँ से आपको फायदा होगा, she'll say, नहीं इमरान पिछली बार भी किया हुआ था. No, मुझे मालूम है, I have actually discussed about this. मैंने इसके बारे में पढ़ा हुआ है. I give her a new idea. I give her new learning. She'll tell me, I had read about this. I attended a program. मुझे भी वहाँ पे मुझे सीखने को मिला. Can you see that? Everything I say, everything I talk, she'll always have past references to it. So Imran, is it bad to have? What happens is when you're so stuck in the references of the past, your decisions, even if you're taking a decision today, it has a huge influence of your past. It's like operating your life like this. आप पीछे की तरफ देख रहे हैं और आगे वाली गाड़ी चला रहे हैं. आप पीछे की तरफ देख रहे हो, आगे वाली. No, I'm also not saying that you should not learn from your past. See, learning is different. But constantly comparing, constantly evaluating from the past references will lead you nowhere. Because if you had a limiting belief system in the past, you'll still have the limiting belief system in the future. Because what has only changed is the time, and you still remain the same. So this is the reference point again. And so these are how we decode a signature. So when you look into somebody's signature, when you look into somebody's handwriting, so this is how you need to give them examples, because sometimes what you are saying, they need to really understand that, so that the willingness to change will happen from there. So Shantani, I hope you're able to relate to what all we shared with you about your signature. Now, let's do some corrections towards what Shantani has to do it. I'm just checking with you one more time. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
Shantani.
Because मुझे हमेशा लगता है कि I may go wrong in that.
No,
So,
no.
so correction चलिए अभी करते हैं. And by the way, I hope you were able to relate to all the things I shared
Yes,
with you.
sir. Each and every word is correct.
Thank you. So now let's proceed. Now that you have definitely changed your signature, now you're using a second one here. So
Yes.
it's definitely better compared to this signature. But here, no, this is not what we look at. The first change, everybody, what is the first change? So those of you who are on Zoom with me, all my students from my community, what is the first thing I am going to tell Shantani to work on? So let me see on my chat box, what are the answers I'm going to get? Yeah, Neil Sharma ji, very good. No dots in the end. So Shantani, 2 dots is difficult. Shantani will only agree with you when you agree with her. And she will like to have all the work done as per her convenience, as per her requirement. So no dot in the end, number 1. Number 2, your signature should start with a capital letter, and this S should be big compared to the rest of your signature. इसको और थोड़ा बड़ा बनाइए.
Okay, so the S I'm writing, this is capital only, but
जी.
वो small letter की तरह लग रहा है, so I'll make it a proper capital. Okay.
I'll show you. I'll write and show you that. But right now, I'm just bisecting it so that you can relate to it. तो पहली चीज क्या करेंगे? Size को बड़ा करेंगे.
Okay.
Okay, 4 times, at least 4 times the rest of the thing. Again, when I was talking about the size, remember I told you the middle zone letters should be also of the same size. Now, if you really look at H का जो hump है, वो बहुत छोटा हो गया compared to the Y and the A.
Okay.
And look at the size of the U, and look at the size of the another letter here, and then N and the I there. So, ये size variation नहीं चाहिए, because this is something which is going to impact your behavior and your consistency in your energy. Next, when you're talking about the letter S and the underline should always be one straight line. So bring the line below the Y loop and underline it. But if you want to cross the loop of the Y also, it's accepted, because anyways, letter Y is a lower zone letter. Okay. Now, the third thing is, now your signature is showing tenacity. Everybody look at the top of the T has a hook. So tenacity is holding on to things, what is yours. And especially your ideas, especially the way you have understood certain scenarios and situations on your life. So the choice is yours, but the letter S should always be bigger. Now, if you ask me, Imran, what are the better ways of writing the letter S? So चलिए वो भी करके देखते हैं. But you know what? I'm just suggesting for us, capital letters, the best part about capital letters is that you can take liberty of having certain fancy elements. When I say fancy elements, आप उसको थोड़ा, artistic बना सकते हैं, because everybody wants an artistic signature. Many of them come to me and say, Imran, the artistic signature चाहिए, बहुत simple नहीं चाहिए. तो capital letters में आप अपने हिसाब से कर सकते हैं, लेकिन मेरे लिए capital letter जब भी मैं लिखूंगा, S is definitely a S like this. Okay, a clear, simple S is always suggested. I don't want you to cross your S like this. This will lead to being self-critical. I don't want you to have, you are welcome to have a bigger loop here. And if you have a first loop bigger, this will lead to desire for more responsibility. So you're always constantly looking at, can I have more responsibility? Can I work on it? So this could be that way. So this is better if you are working towards, looking for a promotion. Imran, I want to up my game in my company, in my work. So this could be a better idea to do it. But a clear S is always a better idea to do it. But S should be at least 4 times bigger. But remember, whenever you write an S, don't make it go too much to the left-hand side again. Okay. I was also checking Anthony's signature. And Anthony, you have a letter A. And letter A, always write with double backing. This will give you a lot of persistence. But right now, talking about the S. So this is the S I'm talking about. Clear S. It could have a S like this. Okay. Clear S or a S like this, but not this one. Okay. Now you must be thinking, Imran, a 8 formation will give me good fluidity of thoughts. Why don't I do this right now? So you do this in your regular handwriting, but in your signature, because that's your first introduction to people, let's project clean, clear authenticity. Let's not show something which you're not. So simple strategy is, if people come and tell me, Imran, give me a fancy signature, give me a very attractive signature. Like, my question to you is that why do you want to show yourself as somebody who's not? तो आप जो नहीं है, आप वो क्यों दिखा रहे हैं? So ये चीज हो जाती है. तो शांतनी, मेरी सजेशन आपके लिए फर्स्ट चीज ये रहेगी, one letter at a time. So one variable at a time. तो एक चीज फोकस कीजिए. पहले आप अपने S को सुधारिए. Number 2, remove the dots in your signature. Number 3, your underlining should be after the while loop. Okay. And this is for everybody. If you're watching this video, my suggestion is, and my conversations with, every time when I have conversations about signature and handwriting, is that it's not about just changing your signature. No, no, no. You don't have to change your signature if you undergo training with me or undergo evaluation with me or, analysis with me. The idea is first understand what to change before you change. Second thing is, I want you to decide what is better for you rather than me. So my job is, I want you to have that control. Don't give me so much of power that I'm going to decide, because I come across a lot of people saying, Imran, aap bata dijiye, aapke hisab se hum log kar lenge. I'll practice exactly the way you will writing give me. No, that's not the idea. The idea is about, can you do it on your own? And that's why we make training programs in a way that, you undergo the process. So please make sure your middle zone letters are consistent. And if you're not able to maintain your middle zone consistent, this is the graphotherapy, which I suggest you to practice more so that you can get it right. Okay. So one variable at a time. हर चीज मत कीजिए, लेकिन एक एक चीज करके देखते हैं. And the one bigger input for everybody is, whenever you want to work on your signature, first learn to write your own name. So now, before you write your signature, आप अपना नाम लिखना start कीजिए. Every day when you write graphotherapy, write your name, say your name, because the way you say your name also has vibrations. The way you have spell your name also has vibrations. The way you're going to write your name also has vibrations. So I want you to get the best of it. Remember, I always tell you, when people gave you a name, I'm sure they did a lot of work on researching it and giving you the most powerful name. So let's do justice to the name which they gave it to us. Are you with me? Let's do justice to the name which they gave it to us by adding all possible elements of power to it. So thank you so much, Anthony. And I'd like to appreciate and respect. Thank you for allowing us to discuss your signature with all of our students and also the community, which is looking at learning this, because this is the way we can add value to people's life. So proceeding further right now, let's go to the next level of your signature. And we're going to work on it. Oh my God, look at a lot of interpretations on these signatures also. Why loop has to be removed? No, Venkateshji. The loop in the Y is very good because letter Y has a lot of determination. Okay, this Y line which is going straight, it's a good thing to have. But my only focus would be that having consistency in your signature. Okay, consistency in your loop also. So chaliye next signature check karte hain. So the next signature I want to discuss today is, let's go to the inner physician graduates and let's discuss the signature of, okay. Jalpa, I see your signature here. I see Anthony's signature here. I see Poonamji's signature here. So chaliye Poonamji se start karte hain. And then I'll come back, okay? So we got 7 more minutes. Let's see if I can do one. So let me give a quick input to Jalpa. Jalpa, I see everything is fine in your signature. Your signature is readable, clean and clear. Your signature has enough of clarity, but the only thing is make sure the gap between the two needs to be worked out. Okay. Now we can also discuss about the D, but as of now, it works. So coming back to Anthony, your letter A is better way of writing A would be like this. It's like a star there. Okay. And underlining below the letter, accepted. Now, Poonamji, letter P is very, very important letter for us in terms of handwriting analysis. So Poonamji, and this is for everybody, please make sure you write a P which is going straight down. Again, the P should be capital. So जब भी आप P लिखेंगे ना, ये वाली line है ना, ये important है जी. ये वाली line. This will give you a lot of strength. This वाली P. Okay. So a P with a loop like this, not suggested. You should have always a P which is retraced. This is more powerful compared to this one. Now, Imran, should we have an open P like this? No, P should always be closed. P should be always be closed. Now, Poonamji has two O's in her writing, and this is for everybody. Whenever you write a capital letter, whenever you write the first letter, don't connect that with other letters in your signature. उसको हमेशा independent दीजिए. This has a lot of power. Don't connect that with others. So if I'm writing Poonam, so I'm not going to be writing Poonam and with the two loops there. Are you with me? I will not connect the P with the O. I will keep all the things separately. I'll keep all the things separately. So don't connect the capitals with anything. Even the Shantani, you're not going to write S and then connect the S with others. No, usko independently rakhega. Usko independently rakhega. So Poonam ji ka, again, we'll go back to the sample there. So now look at this. Poonam ji, you need to work on your double O's, N, A, and M. Now, because you have N and M two times, N and M both coming together, it is about your thinking pattern, how you want to project yourself in terms of the way you learn, the way you understand scenarios, the way you react to scenarios. So use a power M. If you're okay with having cumulative, go ahead and do it. But again, the Bhosle, okay, the B should be the same size of the P. The B should be the same size of the P, because if you reduce the size of your surname, the way you relate to that, the intensity reduces. You get into making them wrong. You get into, making them, not really relevant. So any name you write with your signature, जो भी चीज आप उसको साथ अपने साथ में जोड़ते हैं ना, you need to give a lot of justice to it. Okay, so your first name and your surname, both the first letters should be of the same size. Both the same letters should be of the same size. Now, second, look at the L. It should go up. Any letter which is supposed to go up, it should go up there. Now, H or L, दोनों को और ऊपर में आप भेजेंगे. So now, Imran, how do I write a capital? Okay, B. Capital B के लिखने के लिए बहुत सारे तरीके होंगे, but as I said, you can also make it fancy, but one straight line and having two big loops is a better way of doing it. Now, you might also tell me, Imran, can I write it this way? This is also accepted. Okay, but only make sure that you don't add too many elements to that letter. जितना है चाहिए उतना ही कीजिएगा. ज़्यादा elements को add करेंगे, you are adding extravagance to your personality. You are adding extravagance to your personality. So the graphotherapy for everybody is, before you get on to changing your signature or working on your strokes, get the finger flexion better. I always tell people, if I'm going to show you something and if you're going to just do it because Imran showed it, you will end up drawing your signature rather than signing your signature. You know why? Because आप मेरी जैसे लिखने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. So the idea is, अगर आप अपने finger flexion पे काम कर लेते हैं, the sync between the body and the mind is established. Anything which I'm going to show you, it will come to you naturally. So don't look for writing something which is outside of your comfort zone, because we also have something called as muscle memory. Your hand and your mind has certain memory about how certain letters it will show up on the paper, how certain letters will be, getting manifested on the paper. So ज़्यादा उसको change करने जाएंगे, it's like reinventing the entire wheel. Reinventing the entire wheel. So one element at a time, practice kare, see the type of changes you're able to experience it, and then regularly change it. So until you don't get the right signature, and don't change it officially anywhere, don't go to your banking processes and change it. Go one at a time. That will be a good idea. Okay. So thank you so much for connecting with me and giving me an opportunity to share this beautiful insight about signatures. As I promised, it's going to be a short session, half an hour only, and I'm going to keep coming back. We'll also exploring how we can increase the frequency of these sessions. And thank you so much for being there, and start making questions, because one of the sessions will be only about answering your questions. Okay, so start making a note of your questions. Every question is valid, and when you ask questions, other people will get it. And all my handwriting facilitators, the good news for all of you is that you have an opportunity to personally design your signature with me. You're going to have one-to-one session with me. So if you're my handwriting facilitator, so don't worry, very soon we're going to be sharing our Calendly link with you, and you can block your 30 minutes and a few minutes with me, and let's discuss this conversation. Okay. So Those of you watching this on the YouTube, thank you for taking time and watching this. Below is a link where you can attend my webinar. And this session, this coming week, we're going to come back with more elements about it. And do watch out my video on Thursday when I'm going to be working on. So this Thursday, we're going to be working on learning handwriting analysis based on the handwriting letters, not on the signatures then. So take care, everybody. Thank you for taking time and showing up.